Bezras Hashem Yisparach Erev Shabbos Kodesh Parashat Vayikra Shnas Tov Shian Pei Gimel. We take this opportunity on this very special week because this week is as well Rosh Chodesh Nisan and as well Parashat Vayikra. And we see it comes together. When we have a look at the timeline of what happened on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, we will appreciate the connection between Chodesh Nisan and Parashat Vayikra. What happened was, we know that when Am Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, they sinned by the golden calf, the Chet HaEgel, which took place on the 17th of Tammuz. And then Moshe Rabbeinu went to Shemayim and asked for a kapora to Am Yisrael doing tshuva, and it went till Yom Kippur. Moshe Rabbeinu went from Shivosah, but 17th of Tammuz. On the next day, the 18th of Tammuz, he went to Shemayim for 40 days until the 29th of Av. Then he went back up to Shemayim for 40 days from Aleph Elul until Yom Kippur. And on Yom Kippur, Vayomer Hashem, Solachti Kedvorecho. The Ribono Shel Olam said, I've forgiven Am Yisrael. It was an amazing moment because before Elul, when Moshe Rabbeinu came down the second time on Chof Tes Av, there was a certain atonement. The Ribono Shel Olam said, I forgive Am Yisrael, but I will not be amongst Am Yisrael, but rather an angel will lead Am Yisrael into Eretz Yisrael. Like it says in the Pasuk, V'sholachti et hamalach, v'gerashti es hamoiri, and all the Umas Olam and Eretz Yisrael. That means that Kodesh Baruch Hu, there wasn't that closeness to Hashem. Hashem said, I forgive the Am Yisrael for Chet HaEgel, but I will stay in Shomayim, and the Malach will lead you, an angel will lead you in the desert and take you into Eretz Yisrael. But Am Yisrael continued to pray for another 40 days. And when it came Yom Kippur, on the great day of Yom Kippurim, the Ribono Shel Olam said, I forgive you so much that now I will come and rest my Shechina amongst Am Yisrael. I will leave all the upper heavens and I will rest and come in the Mishkan which you will build for me. That was on the 10th day of Tishri, Yom Kippur. The next day, the 11th day of Tishri, that is Parashat Vayikra. Vayakel Moshe. Moshe assembled Am Yisrael, and he said the great news. Moirav Rabbi Yisai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgave you, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come and be Mashra the Shechina in the Mishkan. Let us prepare the building of the Mishkan. So people were bringing the gold, the silver, all the 15 things that we needed for the preparation of the Mishkan. And by the 15th of Tishri, that's only 4 days later, everything was already brought to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu said, you don't have to bring anything more. Everything is already here. And on the 15th day, everything was ready to prepare in preparation to begin the work of building the actual Mishkan. So the 15th of Tishri until the 25th of Kislev. That's about 2.5 months. And the 25th of Kislev, everything was prepared. The Aron, the Lechem Aponim, the Menorah, the tapestry, everything was beautifully done and beautifully prepared. It was all assembled by Moshe Rabbeinu. And everyone was waiting, maybe today, on the 25th of Kislev, we can start the Avodas Hashem. We can start the Meleches HaMishkan. But Hashem said to Moshe, no, it's going to be delayed until towards Nisan. And Chof Hei Kislev, which should have been the day of Chanukah, the inauguration of the Mishkan, and it was delayed, so Hashem paid back the 25th of Kislev with another inauguration of the Beis HaMikdash. That was over 1,000 years later on the day of Chanukah, when we won the Yevonim, we returned to the Beis HaMikdash, we purified the Beis HaMikdash. Beis HaMikdash was ready now to use for the Korbanos. We lit the Menorah on what day? Chof Hei Kislev. Hashem paid back that day that will forever be enshrined in the Jewish history as a Chanukas HaMizbeach of Chanukah. So Chof Hei in the time of the desert wasn't the Chanukah HaMishkan. It was delayed until the 23rd day of Adar, 7 days before Rosh Chodesh Nisan. These 7 days are called Shivas Yemei Miluim, which Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon HaKohen were bringing the sacrifices of the Shivas Yemei Miluim on the Mizbeach of the Mishkan. Every morning they assembled the Mishkan, and every evening they disassembled the Mishkan, and they brought the Korbanos. On these 7 days, no fire came from Shemayim. They brought on the Mizbeach, and they had to light the fire to burn the korbanos which were on the Mizbeach. But there was no spiritual, we didn't see the Shechina yet coming to the Mishkan. Those were for the 7 days of the Miluim. On the 8th day, which was Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Moshe Rabbeinu said to Aharon HaKohen, Aharon, my brother, from today, I am not going to anymore serve in the Mishkan. From today, you and your children will serve and be the Kohanim, the high priests of the Beis HaMikdash, of the Mishkan. And because till then as well, the firstborns, they were the ones that were sacrificed by the Mishkan. From now, it's a Kohanim. Aharon HaKohen said to his brother Moshe, he said, how can I take from you the job to serve in the Mishkan? So, and Moshe Rabbeinu said to his brother Aharon, this most beautiful thing, we see the brothers. Says Moshe Rabbeinu, like when many years later, earlier, when I was given the leadership of Am Yisrael, when Hashem said to me, you become the leader, you looked v'roacho v'somach v'liboy. You were happy in your heart for my leadership role that I took to take Am Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Even so, I was a younger brother. Today, it is my turn to be happy for you, to be the high priest, to be the Kohen Gadol of Am Yisrael. We see the relationship, Moshe v'Aharon. Moshe v'Aharon b'choyanov. How Moshe was happy with the success of Aharon, and Aharon was happy with the success of Moshe. An amazing thing. Moshe Rabbeinu then went on to say, today, on the first day of Nisan, you don't have to light the fire. The Shechina will leave all the upper heavens and come and rest on the Mizbeach, on the Korbanos. Gewaldig moiradik. Shoin Aharon HaKohen came into the Mishkan. He brought a egel, a calf, as a chatos, to be mechaper on the chet egel amongst the other korbanos, and he placed it on the Mizbeach, and he waited for the fire. There was no fire. And then he came out and he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, Moshe, my brother, I'm being embarrassed in front of the whole of the nation of Yisrael. Everyone's looking, waiting for the fire, and it looks like that Hashem wasn't mechaper or my cheto egel. There's a kitruk. There's no fire coming from Shemayim. So Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon HaKohen returned to the Mishkan, and they fell on their faces, and they said the tefillah, V'hinoyam Hashem Elokeinu mas yedeinu koinenu aleinu. Ribono Shel, may you accept our korbanos, our korban that we did to bring to you as a korban. And then immediately after, the Shechina came from Shemayim and came through the Azorah and rest on the Mizbeach and took the sacrifice of the Mizbeach and then entered the Ohel Moed. The Shechina came from Shemayim. First we see from here that Hashem's teaching us a lesson for all generations, that our avodas Hashem doesn't happen automatically. That we do the korbanos, but it's not a magic formula, the korbanos. But rather, we may have brought the korbanos, sprinkled the blood, put it on the Mizbeach, but we have to pray, Ribono Shel, accept my korbanos. May you accept it, V'hinoyam Hashem Elokeinu. May you accept it to you, the Ribono Shel. This is for us as well a lesson. We're now going to do so many mitzvahs, Achilas Matzah, Arba Koises, on the Yom Tov Habo Leinu L'Toiva. So many great mitzvahs, but it doesn't happen automatically. We eat a matzah, we have to say, V'hinoyam Hashem. May it be sweet to you, my achilas matzah. May it be accepted to you, my mitzvahs that I did in Shomayim. We have to daven it should be accepted. Like then, Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon HaKohen had to daven to Hashem to accept the korban. And then the Shechina came and rested in the oil moyed. This was the purpose of the creation of the world, was for this this day, for this moment, that the Rebbeinu Shem created the world, a physical world, and there will be a nation, a holy nation, and they will build a Mishkan, and the Rebbeinu Shem can leave all the upper world and rest the Shechina ba'olam hazeh amongst Am Yisrael. It was great day of Aleph Nisan, and that was the day all of Am Yisrael said the Mizmor, Rananu tzadikim b'Hashem, la yeshorim novo seilo, shiru l'Hashem shir chodosh. This was the time of a new song, a whole new era, as you would say, of the Shechina b'olam hazeh, the Rebbeinu Shem, such closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that the Rebbeinu Shalom came on Aleph Nisan. Moire de Gewaldig. And on this day, Moshe Rabbeinu stood outside. Because why? Moshe Rabbeinu stood outside. Everyone was standing outside the oil moed. The Shechina was in the oil moed. And Hashem then said, Vayikra Hashem el Moshe. Hashem called to Moshe Rabbeinu, said, Moshe, Moshe, come to the oil. You know what a great respect that was? Imagine the King of England called you up and said, he called you on your phone. Well, you know, called me, the King of England. This was Melech Malchei Amlochim, called Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu's great humility. He couldn't write this. He couldn't record it in the Torah Vayikra. He wrote Vayikol with a little aleph. Hashem called me from all of Am Yisrael to come into the oil moed. Amazing thing. Says the Medrash Tanchuma, why did Moshe Rabbeinu stand outside the oil moed? He said as follows, my contribution to Am Yisrael has finished. That's how he felt. He said, I have nothing more to contribute to Am Yisrael. I took them out of Mitzrayim, split the sea, brought them the Torah, brought the man, built the Mishkan. Now what's left? The Ashros Hashchina. That's it. It's come to its purpose. We have reached the destination. I have nothing more to contribute. He stood outside with all this humility. Said Hashem to the Rebbeinu Shalom to Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayikra Hashem el Moshe. He said, come into the oil moed. And what you are now going to contribute to Am Yisrael will be greater than all what you have given them till now. What is it? To teach them the Torah. I'm going to teach you all the halachos of the korbanos, and you will be the teacher, Rabban Shel Yisrael. This is the greatest contribution you can give to Am Yisrael. We see from here as well for everyone, whether it's a rebbe, a teacher, or a parent. We do so much for our children. We give and we buy them clothing, and we buy them so much, especially now for Pesach. But the greatest contribution you can give to your child is on Leila Seder, when you will teach them emunah. You will teach them a key to life, a closeness to Hashem. That's the greatest matana you can give. And that's what Hashem said to Moshe. You now will teach them Torah. That's the greatest contribution you can give to Am Yisrael. Vayikra Hashem el Moshe. Only now it's starting. You're going to be giving to Am Yisrael. And Moshe Rabbeinu came into the oil moed. This was the greatness of teaching Torah to Am Yisrael. I remember my nephew, Moshe Yehuda Wilk, Harav Moshe Yehuda Wilk, he said that the Bob of a Rebbe, once somebody wrote to him, instead of writing just such normally write Ha'admor Shlita, Kvoit Kedishas, he wrote HaMelamed, Harav HaMelamed. And the Bob Rebbe was very emotional. He said, you know, he gave me the title of Kutsha Brichu V'HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because how do we call Hashem? HaMelamed Torah L'Am Yisrael. So he's calling me a Melamed. I'm a teacher. A teacher is a title that's given to Hashem as a title. And this is what Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu that you will teach Am Yisrael the halachas, the greatness of the korbanos. Just a few, we're going to now be learning the parshas of korbanos. We have to know not only the person through the korban is bitaleh. A person through the korban, he breaks a divide between him and Hashem. Through the korban, he comes close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He may have done Aveirus, he brings a korban, he comes back with a closeness to Hashem. But as well, the animal as well is mis'ale, is elevated through being a korban, because we have to always appreciate all the animal world, the tzomeach, the doimim, everything that's in this world is all in the purpose to serve mankind. Like a person rides a horse, right? It's to serve mankind. The same too, how much greater the purpose is for the animal and the doimim and tzomeach to serve the spiritual need of mankind. Like we see by Yaakov Avinu, the Evan wanted to serve Yaakov Avinu. How much the animal wants to be part of the service of Hashem by being part of this avodas hamishkan. Every field everything in the world, everything in the world had a part in the avodas hamishkan. Because, says the Gemara, not only was this one animal mis'aleh to become a korban by Kodesh Baruch Hu, but all animals in the world became blessed. And we brought wine, let's say, on the Mizbeach, all the wine became blessed. The Gemara says in Psochim that when they had the wine on Nisuch HaYayin on the Mizbeach, and you wanted then to have vinegar in Eretz Yisrael, there was no vinegar. You know why? Because vinegar means that the wine has turned, it became vinegar. But it's a klala, it's a curse, that the wine became sour and became chometz. So if we did Nisuch HaYayin on the Mizbeach, you couldn't find any chometz. The wine was so blessed in Eretz Yisrael, there was no vinegar to be found. Same to the Gemara says, bring Pesach wheat, oimer, bring wheat on the oimer to the Mizbeach, that all the wheats will be blessed. Everything we brought to the Mizbeach, not only what we brought was mis'aleh mitkadesh, but it represented all what it was in the rest of the world. The animal represented all the animals. The wheat represented all the wheat. The wine represented all the wine. And it was a blessing and mis'aleh to all of mankind and all humanity, and everything that there is the world was blessed through being part of the avodas hamishkan in the avodas Hashem of the Mishkan. So this is a great psukim we have now. The psukim of Vayikra. The psukim of Vayikra Moshe. The inyan of the korbanos. The inyan of the korbanos, the tachlis hashros hashchina in the olam hazeh. And through bringing the Mishkan, not only the person becomes blessed, the animal becomes blessed, the wheat becomes blessed, the wine becomes blessed, the water, nisuch hamayim, b'sheh gishmei brocha. There should be a blessing in the rain, a blessing of the waters of this world. So this was the inyan of the Beis HaMikdash. Baruch Hashem, may we become blessed through learning the psukim, and we should be zocher to all the brachos of the korbanos and the sacrifices. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbos, a Shabbos Shulam and Mavoirach.